top right-hand corner of Antiga Shipyard, we have our red Zerg player from Dream up 1-0. It is F91. And his opponent in the bottom left-hand corner from IG, our blue Zerg player needing to make another comeback in this tournament. It is Xigua.
So I was looking up some information about these players a little bit earlier, trying to find out some stuff I maybe didn't know before, and I saw a quote from Idra, actually, of all people, about F91. Of course, Idra was a big Brood War player. He played against these guys quite a bit, I'm sure, and he said something to the effect of, I can't remember the exact quote, but it was something to the effect of, F91 is F91. If you think he's just another cookie-cutter Zerg, you're going to lose to him. So back then, you know, he was really known for playing the game differently and more aggressively than other Zergs of his ilk, I guess you could say. So, yeah, I mean, it's cool to see Brood War players coming out and playing StarCraft 2. I, obviously have not seen a lot of his games in the past, but I don't know, I really like aggressive play, and F91's definitely shown that today, and it's fun to watch.
Yes, he has. So we'll see what Xigua has up his sleeve, though. I'm kind of curious about this. He was able to deflect mutas really, really easily, but wasn't able to transition in time and get out roaches to be able to defend the inevitable follow-up. So F91 was able to take advantage. That was some pretty astounding macro, I have to say. So we'll see if Xigua has something up his sleeve this go-around, or if we're just going to see something play out similar to what we saw last time.
Yeah, we'll see. F91 getting his hatchery down at the appropriate time this time. Xigua not able to get in there and harass him all that much, it looks like. So that's good for him, at least. But yeah, the thing with F91, I mean, it's one of those things that you really need to worry about. I feel like Zergs, to a certain extent, when they have Mutalisks out, they pull all their overlords back, understandably. They don't want to lose them, and then you're really kind of left in the dark. You don't know if your opponent is going to dedicate to mutas or if they're going to do like we saw F91 do, make that switch over to a really strong roach push after that. So it's just so good. I mean, to go mutas and be able to get in there and do some damage, scare your opponent a little bit, because then not only do you get a decent amount of map control for a little while in the game, you also get that sort of that intimidation factor where your opponent doesn't know what you're going to do to follow it up.
15 hatch, 16 gas, 16 pool for both of these players, although Dream F91 just a little bit behind his opponent on pretty much every timing, so just the littlest bit behind on each one. So Xigua with a kind of incremental lead right now, but of course that's not going to be what separates these players throughout the game.
Oh yeah, yep. In ZVZ, it largely comes down to control. Sometimes you just have a player simply out macro the other and he has more roaches or something like that. But in ZVZ, you'd really have to position your army well. You have to control the units in your army well if you want to win that. And you also need to have kind of a sixth sense, I believe, to have a good, successful ZVZ career. You need to be able to know when to make drones, when to make units, and you can't always scout to find out, scientifically when to stop making drones or stop making units. You need to kind of feel it out.
And looks like both these players going down similar paths still yet. Looks like Xigua is about 20 seconds ahead of his Zergling speed timing. Dream F91 putting up his defensive Baneling nest a little bit quicker than Xigua once again, though. Something we saw in game number 1 as well.
Yep. Both Baneling nests now started. Xigua just throwing down his in his main. And the Overlord's kind of vacating a little bit. Do we have a Queen chasing an Overlord down in the middle there? Is that what that is?
This one here?
Is that? Oh, yeah,
yep.
Okay.
Always annoying.
Can the Overlord get away?
I don't know.
Too fast, too furious.
It's going to be so close.
Supposedly.
Battle of the slowest units. Although this does take a little bit longer because the Overlord is actually faster now.
But still, it doesn't look like the Overlord can get away. Nope, they need another speed buff.
Go clearly, yes, definitively. Yep. ZVZ is unbalanced.
It's broken. Queens can chase down Overlords, even with their new speed. Oh, well.
Well, yeah.
Yep.
Sad times. 14 more links coming out for Xigua, though. So once again, he is going to be the aggressor with the amount of links that he has out now. His opponent, once again, going for a more defensive position, droning up and adding on a fair number of Banelings. He was able to make those work very successfully last go-around.
Yep. I feel like with the Queen range increase, it's a little bit tougher to make these sort of early Baneling attacks work. Antiga Shipyard is a great map for it, though, because there's not really a definitive choke that you can protect. You can do things like run around this wide area to get to the mineral line. And, ooh, almost getting hit with those Banelings there.
That's right. Banelings are trying to roll down now, and
very nice.
Banelings for 2 Banelings. Pretty good for F91 there.
That's not bad. I mean, he does have some more defensive Banelings as we see on the screen there as well. And trying to trade again. Not quite as efficient, and one Baneling just singeing a drone or two.
Yeah, didn't do too much damage, but Xigua has a little bit left over, and his opponent did not initially, so
Not bad.
able to deny a little bit of mining time there, so we'll see if Xigua can continue to do some damage, as he has held back his opponent's production just a little bit. F91 does decide to go ahead and go up to layer afterwards while he produces 11 more drones.
See, I feel like the engagement we just saw is a very, very typical engagement in early game ZVZ right now. You know, we see that typical Baneling Ling attack, and then we see the opponent defend it in what seems to be a rather easy way. Obviously, when you're actually playing it, it's very complicated, it's very hard to micro and all that, but the pros are just to that level where things like this just don't do as much damage as they used to, and that's why we see players not putting as much of an emphasis on the Zergling Baneling attacks early on, going quicker to Roach Warrens, quicker to Lairs and Mutalisks. The ZVZ is changing a lot right now, and a big part of it is due to that Queen range upgrade.
And looks like F91 did decide to go for that Roach Warren, so not going to go quad gas into his very quick Spire once again. We'll see what he ends up transitioning to. It's just going to be a bunch of upgrades. Already we have that macro hatch on the way as well, so fair number of units will be able to pop out here. Now, of course, Xigua is going for a much faster Roach Warren himself, so both these guys are going to play a little bit more conventional ZVZ.
Yeah, Dream going for the Spire anyway, though. Just getting the Roach Warren in case he needs to get roaches, it looks like. I mean, the thing is if your opponent goes roaches really quickly and you go Mutalisks, yeah, roaches can't shoot mutas, but they also don't kill, or mutas don't kill roaches very quickly. So with a big 2-base timing with roaches around +1 or a 1-1, if as the case may be, sometimes Mutalisks just can't kill the army fast enough and you end up losing anyway.
Well, let's see here now what Xigua is going to be doing, as his layer tech is just finishing up momentarily. He also has a third base on the way and is starting to produce a fair number of roaches, but will he decide to opt for any higher tech? Infestation Pit, Hydralisk Den, we'll find out in just a bit once his roach numbers start to increase.
Yep, that's right. 81 supply to 76 right now. Dream F91 moving across the map with a little bit of a Zergling Baneling force. What he's actually doing here is pushing back as many units as he can so that he can kind of have those mutas come out as a bit of a surprise. But the Overseer coming in to scout, will he see the Spire? It looks like he does. There it is. He may have him to there. Yep, sees it pop up.
That's right.
No hiding that.
All right, well, that Overseer is going to die, but that's quite all right, because now he's already preparing back at home with a fair number of Spore Crawlers. Once again, he'll start moving his Queens into position as well, so he should have a pretty stout anti-air defense, and we may see a reaction to some unit anti-air as well.
If F91 makes roaches right now, I will respect him so much. He's thinking about it. He's making roaches. Yes! F91 is so smart. He knows exactly what to do. He saw that coming across the map. Didn't go for the mutas. I saw him not spending his money. Is like, you could tell what he was thinking. He was like, all right, I can make mutas right now. I can make about 8, but I don't know. And he made roaches. F91, man, I'm liking this guy. I'm going to have to look up more of his games here.
Well, the Infestation Pit's just about to finish up for Xigua as well, so he'll be able to move into his pretty heavy Infestor play pretty quickly on. I mean, he's already up to 700 gas, and that's what, 750 is 5 Infestors, so that's a pretty good amount.
That's true here. Strong push from Xigua coming in. He does have +1 finishing very soon, getting there a little bit too early. It looks like that's why we see him pulling back. And you know what? Dream F91 has a pretty strong army himself. He already has +1 missile attacks as well.
That's right. But unfortunately, it looks like he's going to attack at just the moment that his opponent finishes +1. And there it is.
This is good, though. The thing is though, he's able to kind of segregate this little group of roaches away from his opponent's base. And look at that, coming in and catching the rest of the army as well. Those reinforcements, I was wondering if that was going to be a bit of a problem. Xigua needs to be very careful about how he engages this. Oh, and here come the Banelings as well.
That's right, rolling in from behind now. At the same time, we have a bit of a counterattack going on to these Zerglings. May even be able to deal with this hatchery altogether. However, a bunch of drones are just slaughtered by those Banelings, and it looks like F91 should be able to take out this hatch if he wants.
Oh, he needs to kill that hatchery.
Yeah, he has to suicide on that and get out unless he thinks he can just outright win the engagement.
Well, I don't know if he can. He thinks he can. It looks like he thinks he can. Yeah, he needs to actually focus the hatchery. There we go. He knows it now. It's very, very low. Now he can try to just do that. Yeah, he lost his hatchery, so if he didn't kill his opponent's third base as well, he was going to be a bit behind. He already is actually a little bit behind. This counterattack is going to be pretty strong here. But, you know, if he had lost that fight and lost the hatchery without killing his opponents, he would have been in a much worse situation here.
That's right. So as it stands, Xigua not going up to any additional upgrades quite yet. Not even getting pathogen glands and starting down the Infestor route. So it looks like he's just going to try and push and do some damage right now.
Well,
there we go. Finally some Infestors coming up, but no pathogen glands quite yet.
+2's about to finish for F91 as well. So Xigua may want to reconsider this. In fact, it does look like he's going home. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the traps you can fall into in ZVZ is just being too kind of back and forth aggressive. You can be like, oh, I just won. I have to go to my opponent's base and try to win the game right now. And if you do that, a lot of times you meet up with their reinforcements. You meet up with their reinforcements when they get upgrades. And F91 now saying that this is a time to make Mutalisks in a little bit safer of a situation. He's got 5, so he can one-shot workers. There's still a decent amount of spores out, but, you know, we'll see what he can do with them.
That's right. So spores should probably be picked up for a second, then reseeded as soon as the hatchery does finish. Yeah. But as it stands, Mutas are going to start moving their way across the map momentarily. There are 5 of them up. That's an annoying little pack. You'll be able to pick off a couple of workers here and there. Just kind of stretches opponents' defenses a bit. You
know, spore crawlers and spine crawlers, if they're unburrowed and off creep, they don't lose health. But if they're burrowed and off creep, they do lose health.
Doesn't make any sense to me. So there it is.
I don't know. Maybe it's just the way they burrow.
I guess. I don't know.
It's science.
I guess.
Don't worry about it.
Yes, Zerg science.
That's right. Pretty big roach army. What's the roach count actually for both of these players? It is pretty even. Yeah, 48 to 37. Slight lead for F91. But, you know, think about if F91 attacked here, the reinforcements would be able to even things up very quickly. Oh, I love this. Just picking off those Infestors, trying to force a fungal, and he does use up a little bit of energy here. Oh, and look at that. Xigua not even catching all the Mutalisks.
That's right. He's going to have to pull back now to these Queens and Spore Crawlers. And does. One of the Mutalisks has gone down. Loss of no Infestors, but a lot of Infestor energy.
Oh, here come the Roaches, though.
That's right. Trying to get in there for a good engagement. What are the upgrades at now for Xigua still? He is at 1-1 with, so they're pretty even on upgrades, but the Carapace will come in a little bit more handy here for Xigua as he moves his way up, lands a couple of fungal growths as well. The Mutalisks are sitting overhead, but the Queen is actually able to dispatch those pretty quickly, despite the better concave for F91. Being fungal down is actually proving to be quite a problem for him. He's continuing to push ahead, though. Does he have enough to turn the tide? Will the shorter reinforcement distance for Xigua actually end up winning out?
Oh, yeah,
looks like he is starting to push that back.
Yep. I mean, if you watch the supply count while that was going on, you saw it stay dead even, and in that case, the reinforcements are always going to end up working out fine. So, yeah, Xigua just having enough Infestors, F91 just not having enough of an overpowering army to win that fight against Roach and Infestor. But if he does stay on just Roach, he can do kind of the, I like to talk about it being sort of the Nerchio style, though Stefano and other Zergs do it a lot as well, where you just have a lot of Roaches attack in different places and kind of force your opponent to split up their army. Oh, that Roach didn't get the memo.
No, not
Fight's
at
over,
all.
buddy.
Hey, guys, the fight's up here. Aw. Well, let's see, in the middle of the map, that's a good clump just asking for a fungal growth, but let's see here now. It's 54 workers, 259 at the moment, so slight advantage for Xigua, but of course, we'll see now as F91 trying to pull around the side and pick off this hatchery. It looks like he will be able to do so, forces it to get canceled, but now has exposed his units a little bit. Once these Infestors catch up, they may be able to fungal and pin some units in place.
May have been a bit of a mistake by F91 to kind of focus down the hatchery and then kind of move to that awkward location down there, and yeah, that army easily taken apart by Xigua.
That's right. Now with an upgrade advantage as well, important to note. He's going to pick off a couple of Infestors, though, which is really, really nice.
Yep.
But that being said, not going to be worth the amount of losses he sustained in the overall army.
He needs to get those Roaches away.
That's right. Loses one on the way out as more Infestors continue to reinforce.
Supply still very even for both of these players as well. I mean, this is an even ZVZ right now. Xigua does have a bit of an advantage. I bet he has more drones. Yeah, just 2 more drones. Not a big lead there, but you know, the composition looking a little bit better for Xigua right now. Dream F91. For some reason, I just want to keep calling him Dream because there's already a player named Dream, but his name is actually F91. Just continuing to make Roaches. He's going for burrowed movement as well. If he kind of sneaks past his opponent, he may be able to pop up and kill a third base, but again, that's kind of a base trade situation, so
that's right.
It's a bit of a risk.
Kind of a mannered changeling right in the middle there, which is kind of funny because I guess you do have to technically pick it off. But let's see here now. Is F91 going to roll through the middle once again? But his opponent is up by a fair bit of supply. A few more units actually starting to reinforce now. And of course, once that 4th base actually gets underway, if it gets underway, it would be pretty powerful.
Roaches
Ba-da-da.
burrowing through the creep, and a couple of them look like they're going to pop up. Yep. And go ahead and do that. And yeah, just like I thought, Xigua just going for that counterattack.
That's right. So this is going to be a very tense situation here. Looks like he's just going to commit half of his forces up and then pull half of his forces back.
He thinks that's the only part of the army, actually.
That's right. So, okay, well, he's going to go ahead and move up now, and this hatchery is going to fall for F91, but he is killing another one down at the bottom right-hand corner himself, but it looks like he may get his forces trapped here.
That's right. Oh, if he can pop up and kill those infestors with those roaches that are behind the army, that would be so perfect. But where are the roaches going? He needs them right now.
I don't know.
Oh, F91 not controlling his roaches. Oh, missing a golden opportunity to just out and out win that fight.
That's right.
And Xigua, I think he's got enough of a lead that this game is over.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's going to be able to power through this here up at the front. He's up by 70 supply now, and Xigua looks like he's going to tie things up 1-1 here in this best of 7 here at the